All right, here we go. This is going to be a look at Maurice Wolin, Dr. Maurice Wolin. What's up, Doc? Oh man, just click off the video right now. From the Petaluma, California sting. One of the most notable predators, one of the most, well-recognized predators, very high profile, and one of my personal most hated predators. I hate this guy with a passion. This is gonna be a good one, I think. I'm probably gonna get a little bit heated, but it's okay. Maurice Wolin, yeah, one of the biggest assholes that showed up on this show. And he deserved a lot more than what he ended up getting. I really, in terms of the predators that I wish got the book thrown at them, got a sentence like the Georgia Predators did, or like the Kentucky Predators did, Maurice Wolin would probably be at the top of that list, or close to the top of that list. So let's just get into it here.
This guy's coming in. That could be the doctor.
And just look at the way he walks, man. You can tell that this guy's a nerd, just by the way he walks. Not much confidence at all in that walk. It's just a very,
that could be the doctor.
Very lanky, walk. I don't know what it is. Like, that just seems very unnatural looking. I mean, it just seems like a very unnatural walk. Yeah, I'm not sure, though. That's kind of weird. Not the most confidence, given off right here. Just not good.
Go to Mark 3. Come towards you.
I love that right there. He takes one last look before he walks in. It's like, hey, he's got to make sure that nobody knows what's going on here. No neighbors or any passersby, who want to play a hero card or anything. He takes one last look in, and his life is going to change forever. I mean, you could have turned around, Maurice. You could have turned around, buddy, but no, you didn't. And he's like, oh, man, I wasn't going to do anything. But yeah, very, very sneaky right here is Maurice Wolin. He's a dickhead, a douchebag all around. That last look in is kind of, representative. He knows that he has so much to lose if he gets caught. He knows that he has a lot to lose. But he's doing it anyway. Oh, Maurice, what are you doing, dude?
Hey, you made it. Come on back.
Thanks. How are you?
Good, how are you?
This man is 48 years old, married, and a prominent San Francisco.
And I like this decoy. I do like this decoy a lot, actually. I think she's probably she's probably towards the top of my decoy list. But one thing that's really unnatural here is that she asked him, oh, how was the drive? They ask that a lot, and that's because they're like adults, right? And they kind of know that, hey, if, that's kind of standard conversation to make, but no 13-year-old would really care about how bad the traffic was. That's just kind of what I was, what I would say anyway. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't really care about traffic or whatever, I had my music on in the back seat, jamming out. I couldn't care less if there was traffic, Why would I care? And I don't think a 13-year-old would care either, in this situation. But who knows? Who knows?
Physician. It's hard to believe that someone of his stature would show up to meet a girl who said she was 13 and then follow her into the backyard where she invites him to go in her hot.
Chris Hansen says, it's hard to believe, but is it really that hard to believe? I mean, from one thing that we've seen in the show, at this point in the show, we've already seen Rabbi David Kay, of course. He was probably the first memorable or most prominent man in society, in terms of his job and everything like that. But is it really that surprising to me? Is it really that surprising to see that somebody with a high stature is going to try to score with an underage person? I don't think it's that shocking, honestly. I understand that this is mainstream news and they want to go for the shock value. But if you just turn on the news, at least in the past few years, what some people do, man, in high status. I mean, not even to get into like a religious whole thing here, because it's not just them, but you know, you hear about so many Catholic priests, teachers, you know, and that's just the surface of it. That's just what gets, you know, caught, you know. It's not that shocking to me to see that this happened. I don't know, but and yeah, he's a dickhead.
Tub.
Pour me
And I love this right here. I do love it.
a drink. I'm actually gonna put on my suit so maybe we can get in the hot tub because it's all warm.
He met the girl
Oh, no,
online
what a
3 days
tease.
earlier. The girl was
Oh,
really a
what a
perverted
tease.
justice
See, they
decoy.
did that on purpose. They get you to watch the rest of the segment. That's very clever right there. Dateline NBC. Very clever right there. You know, they knew that he was going to spill the drink, but no, they're like, nope, we're not going to show it yet. Oh, man.
Boy pretending to be 13. Using the screen name Tall Dreamy Doc, he lies and says he's 29.
Very interesting also. No profile picture. On his chat log right here. No profile picture. He knew that, hey, he can't pull this off. He can't pull the whole 29 thing off. And this just kind of shows me, you know, the type of ego that Maurice Wolin has. You know, he's got a huge ego. He's very full of himself. And at the same time, he doesn't even have the confidence to put his real picture up there. Like, if you're going to talk a lot of shit, if you're going to say that call yourself a tall, dreamy doc, which, I mean, it might just be a bad picture, but I don't think this qualifies as a tall, dreamy doc. And if you're also going to pull off 29, going to try to pull off 29, you got to have something to back it up. And you can't just show up there, bald, clearly not 29, clearly not dreamy, dressing like a fucking with your polo shirt tucked in too high on your too high jeans. You can't do that, Maurice. Not gonna work. And so he's full of shit here. You know, if you're gonna have a huge ego, you have to back it up. You know, you can't just flounder like that. And this was before, I believe, before he had the toupee. He did try the toupee look a bit after this on the dating sites. He took a registered, one of his RSO photos, he's wearing the toupee. So yeah, he was clearly open to the idea at some point. But you know, it is interesting too, because why wouldn't he bring, if he had the toupee at this point and he didn't bring it, why wouldn't he have brought it? For one thing, I think he drives a convertible. So it's possible that he didn't want it to fly off when he was driving. That's something. And he's also going into the hot tub, and you don't want it to fall off in the hot tub. You just don't want that to happen. So it's possible that he also did that as well. If he had the toupee at all, it's open to debate whether or not he actually had the toupee at all at this point. Let's continue.
Remember, he's really 48. He asks the girl, what bra size do you wear? She says 30B, but it's kind of big on me right now. I'm still growing. He replies, I will kiss them. He goes into graphic detail about giving and receiving oral sex, and later says, I'm horny for you, and asks her to masturbate while thinking of him. He tells her several times he could get into trouble, but it isn't enough to stop him from...
Yeah, so he clearly knows everything is wrong. But it's like, really, Maurice, I understand that you aged horribly. Your wife probably isn't too into you nowadays. You get like one blowjob a year, and that's it. You know, I understand that, Maurice. But that doesn't make it okay to do this to a 13-year-old girl, to say this stuff to a 13-year-old girl. You know, oh man, my wife doesn't give me any more attention anymore. You know, I had bad genes. You know, I lost my hair at 48 years old, you know. Maurice, I mean, it's okay. You're 48. You're kind of past the prime of your life anyway, you know. You're not going to just be a stud forever, you know, unless you're, you know, I don't know, unless you're fucking rich and famous. But he does have the rich thing going on, too. He is pretty rich at this point, actually. Of course, being a cancer research doctor. Which just shows, hey, you can be a fucking idiot. But still get far in life, you know. He's a fucking idiot. An underrated, underappreciated fucking idiot. And he fucking hired lawyers, dragged the whole process out just to ultimately plead guilty. Like, fuck you, Maurice Wolin. Fucking asshole.
From coming over and helping himself to a drink.
So where are you coming from?
Him from coming over and helping himself to a drink.
Now we know why Maurice struggles with the older women, you know, because he's a fucking klutz. As I almost fucking yank my headphones out. Jesus Christ. Give me 1 sec. Alright. I think we're okay. But, yeah, I fucking spills the drink, and now you'll see him just, this is a great fucking meltdown right here, and he'll be like, you got a towel?
So where are you coming from?
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah,
Look
so
at
there
him.
probably was a lot of traffic.
He's so flustered, like it's like it's a fucking catastrophe. You know that if this happened like in a bar or something, Maurice Wolin, like if he's on like a beachfront resort, let's say, if this happened in real life, you know that this fucking asshole right here, Maurice, would just be like, "Excuse me, sir, your margarita's all clumpy. You made me spill all over myself. I demand a refund." Like just having a fucking spaz attack, you know. This just tells me that this guy has never really had any issues in his life. You know, he spills a drink and he's just like, he's all flustered, hyperventilating. You got a towel? Fuck you, Maurice Wolin, asshole.
As the doctor looks for a towel,
He looks for a towel. He walks right by one. I don't know. Walks right by a towel right here. Even the decoy says the decoy has good spatial awareness, I guess, to recognize, hey, there's a towel on the chair. No, but this fucking moron just walks behind there and sees Chris Hansen and the camera crew. I mean, this is a pretty bad setup, I must say, for this house. I think this is a pretty bad setup. You know, a lot of it's not very well spaced out. You got the hot tub here. I think the ultimate goal was to get a predator to get into the hot tub, which would have made for great television, I think. But it's not the best place to try to have an interview. But you know, he sees him. I gotta take off.
Dateline's camera crew.
I gotta take off. I mean, one of the big missed opportunities, you know, it is highly debated in the TCAP community. Would Maurice Wolin have stayed for an interview? We know that he talks to the police. Fucking for some godforsaken reason. He talks to the police. Thankfully he did, because it's fucking great. But, would he have stayed to talk to Chris Hansen? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Maybe if Chris Hansen gave off, really turned it to another level and gave off the whole fake cop, or pretending to be a cop but I'm not really a cop look, maybe he would have. But I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on this. I would lean towards no, he wouldn't stay for an interview, but I could see him staying for an interview. It's probably one of those 50-50 things, as Dustin McFetridge once said, and now he puts his sunglasses back on and flips out. This is great.
I need to talk to you for a minute.
He runs,
Fucking nerd.
but he doesn't get very far.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get his keys.
I wasn't doing anything.
Get his keys.
So let's just watch this again here. He's like, oh jeez. He puts his hands up like, oh jeez, guys, I can explain, but it doesn't matter when you got guns pulled on you, Maurice. It doesn't matter if you can explain. You know, when you have a gun drawn on you, you put your fucking hands up and you do this. And right here, really obnoxious also. Really obnoxious is the sunglass smash. Really fucking obnoxious, you know. Those were probably really expensive sunglasses. It's not even really about that, you know. But he has no respect for his possessions, you know. If this is any indication of how things go with his wife, with his children, fuck that, you know. He flips out, you know. He's breaking shit. Just because, hey, something's not going right. I gotta break something, you know. Oh, I can pay for it later, you know. That's not very nice, Maurice. You know, there are a lot of people that would have liked to have those sunglasses. And do you think, like, in the evidence room, for instance, they're like, damn it, man, we could have had sunglasses, dude. Nice designer sunglasses, but no, this cunt had to go. Oh, man, you know I'm pissed when that word comes out. What? But they're like, oh, if this jackass didn't, if he didn't smash his sunglasses, one of us could have gotten some free sunglasses out of it, you know? But it's really obnoxious, too, because if this guy wasn't a high-standing member of society, he would have gotten tackled for doing that. You know that, right? He's a skinny white dude. I mean, they're not going to give him any trouble for doing that, you know? But if it was like, a big fat dude, perhaps someone of a different race, for instance, maybe they would have tackled the guy, they stun-gunned the guy. Yeah, it kind of shows the a whole different issue in its own. But yeah, really obnoxious, the smashing of the glasses, and but it is a great meltdown. I will say it is a pretty great meltdown.
On the ground. I wasn't gonna do it. Right now. Get on the ground. On the ground. Get his keys.
Get his keys.
Oh man.
Again, right here, he's got the fucking cell phone on the belt. I don't know why that was ever a fucking look. It's horrible. You know, you're so important. We get it, Maurice. You're so fucking important that you need to keep your cell phone on your belt for easy access, you know. It's not like when it's in the pocket, you know, it's that much more inconvenient, you know. I don't know why that was ever a fucking look. It makes no sense. Maurice is not handling things pretty well here.
Get his keys.
And like all the other men caught in this investigation,
wasn't doing anything. You are a horrible, horrible person, Maurice. You are only crying because you got caught. You knew everything. You knew what you were doing. You knew all the risks. You knew everything. You said, oh, what size bra are you? Oh, kind of big on me. I'm still growing. I will kiss them, you know. You're a horrible person, Maurice. Horrible. Look at all this right here. You did all of this. It's not anyone's fault but your own, you know? I wasn't doing anything. Look at this dork.
car salesmen to engineers to Marines, he goes through the same procedure. First stop, the booking station.
What am I being booked for?
What am I being booked for? You know, so demanding, Maurice. You know, what am I being booked for? Shut up. You're no one's at liberty to answer these questions for you, Maurice. This guy, they're too nice. Honestly, they're too nice, you know. I understand that, hey, you know, he has rights. I understand that. But I just wish, for this one instance, where I would support, you know, police brutality, anything like that. The one instance, maybe a few of the other predators as well, but this guy especially. He's coming in there demanding to know everything. He thinks he's above everybody in this room. Fuck you. You've just got charged with being a predator, you know, essentially. Walks in there, the first thing he says, what am I being booked for? Again, fucking hyperventilating, needs to know everything. Horrible. Horrible.
My wife? You can do that after this.
Can I call my wife?
The police ask routine personal questions, but the doctor appears distracted. Nothing's sinking in.
You're going to talk to a detective and just...
Yeah, I explained that to him already. He's just not, he's failing to...
I'm not failing. I'm just really scared.
So he's like, I've explained it to you 4 times already. He's not getting it, you know. He's like, Maurice is not a person who is with the average Joe, you know. He doesn't spend enough time with the average Joes to know things like this, you know. He comes home, he works with a bunch of other higher up assholes, and you know, he probably sits back on his boat on the weekend, you know, sipping champagne and, you know, fucking being a creep online. He doesn't spend enough time with the average Joes, except when he's at, like, the grocery store and something's not right. He's complaining for a manager, you know, yelling at someone who makes minimum wage. Like, fuck you, Maurice Wolin. I love this right here, though.
He's failing to...
I'm not failing. I'm just really scared.
Nothing to be scared about.
Nothing to be scared of. That is a fucking great line. You know, I think the cop is just kind of having some fun with it right there. You know, nothing to be scared of. And even Maurice realizes that it's bullshit too. He comes back and says, "Nothing to be scared of."
Are you scared about it?
No. I'm somebody who has never done anything in my life. He's on a traffic ticket, and you wouldn't be scared?
You're in some trouble.
Look at how ugly this guy looks, man. Oh, he is not looking good. Not tall, not a dreamy doc by any means, but yeah, he's like, again, he's trying to pull the, you know, I haven't done anything wrong in my life, you know, I'm an upstanding citizen, you just let me go. Like, that's kind of like what Alan Chornay says, you know, he said the same thing, although not really. He said, like, I've been married 34 years, that's why I'm asking if I can be given any type of break, you know. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. These idiots, man.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in big trouble, and I feel like I made maybe a mistake, but I didn't do anything.
He's Dr. Maurice Wolin, head of clinical research and medical affairs for a pharmaceutical company, and he's not happy about seeing our cameras.
I'm here in handcuffs. I have pictures being taken of me left and right. I don't know what I'm being accused of.
He's then taken in for questioning by Detective Steve Nelson of the Petaluma Police Department.
First thing I'm going to do is explain to you your Miranda rights, okay? Okay.
It's like he's like, oh man, you really have to go through this formality. I'm telling you, I'm innocent, you know? You got that look on his face. Fucking asshole. Fucking asshole.
Remain silent.
At first, the doctor agrees to talk.
So, I'd like to talk about what happened today, okay?
But he quickly changes his mind.
What screen name do you use?
I really need to have an attorney.
I think it's because he's embarrassed to say it. He knows that, you know, he's gonna get judged once he says that. Hey, tall, dreamy doc. He's gonna get judged for it. So he's like, I think I need to have an attorney. I think present. You know, yeah. Okay. And Maurice screws himself too, because he drags out these legal battles so long. He really screws himself. I don't know why he's talking. You know, he continues to talk. I don't get it.
Okay.
But despite asking for an attorney, he chooses to keep talking.
You asked to talk to an attorney. Okay. I'm not going to discuss this further because I can't, unless you want to waive your right to have an attorney present.
The detective asks him 4 more times if he's waiving his right to an attorney.
I will answer what I can.
And each time he agrees and continues to talk.
It's mind-blowing, you know. It is bonkers, man, you know. It's such a powerful right, actually. People don't realize how powerful of a right it is. But it actually is. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. It's pretty clear right there. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You know, there's no helping yourself. It's not, I mean, the wording, they could make it a little bit clearer, but it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to know what that means. It blows my mind. This guy's supposedly very smart. Fucking, you can't be a doctor without going to school, medical school, right? You know, you can't unless you're in some back alley shit. Unless you're doing that. I don't think he did that at this point yet anyway. But it's really interesting because it just, again, I said it earlier, but it just shows that you can be a fucking moron, a fucking idiot, and be in a high paying, high succeeding, high status job like Maurice Wolin was in. It just shows it, you know? He gets told, yo, I can't discuss this further with you, but he thinks he can talk his way out of it. Ignorantly thinks he can talk his way out of it. It's so mind-blowing. It really is. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, you contrast this with, actually, it's really interesting, actually. Lord Armstrong asked for an attorney. He is, in my opinion, one of the biggest idiots that ever appeared on this show. He knew to ask for an attorney. You don't even know that, Maurice. Like, what the fuck? Can't explain it.
I'm not going to play games here.
I'm not playing games. I'm scared out of my mind.
Right. And I understand that.
You saw my record. I've never done anything wrong in my life.
Again, he goes, you know, I have nothing on my record, you know. I don't even have a traffic ticket on my record. You know, can you just let me go?
And now I'm being charged with very serious offenses.
Why did you come to the house in Petaluma today?
I was curious.
Curious.
Okay.
Well, curious about what?
I chatted with someone online. She had asked to meet me on several occasions. I declined. And today again she asked. I had a little bit of time, not very much.
Okay.
And so I thought I would come out and meet her and nothing more.
Okay.
The doctor is referring to how online he made a date for sex with a decoy, but chickened out.
Oh my god, what? I forgotten about that he said that. I said that. If you know why I'm laughing, it's because John Kennelly said the same thing. You know, he says, I probably would have chickened out, sir, as he's standing in the kitchen naked. That's really fucking funny to me. I love that line from Kennelly, too. I probably would have chickened out, sir. I love that line. So, it's great. We get a little callback to it right here. The hardcore TCAP fans, you know, would have recognized this, you know. when these were first being broadcast, you know, wait, I've heard that line before. The fucking naked guy, yeah.
Decoy, deliberately behaving like a precocious teenager, encouraged him to come.
You know, she was young, and I knew that.
Under 18.
And it's kind of, you know, people will bring up, oh, isn't that, you know, kind of like entrapment? I mean, first of all, they're not police, so no, it's not entrapment. I don't think these people know the definition of the word, but it's like, it doesn't matter if they begged you to come or not. They're an underage kid. You're an adult. You gotta have some impulse control, number one, but number two, you shouldn't even be talking to one anyway. You know, that's a horrible excuse. A lot of people go with that excuse. A lot of predators use that excuse. It's fucking bullshit.
Okay. Did you talk to her about touching and kissing and making each other feel good?
I remember she saying that she had trouble finding something in her throat. Okay. I was playing with her.
In fact, what he said online was, I work hard to make the girl feel good. I wouldn't stop until you blank over and over.
And then you told her, no, I'm real, but you're under 18 and I'm over. We would have to be so careful.
I don't remember saying that, but I told her that she needed to. I was concerned about her. She needed to be careful.
Okay.
The only reason I came today, I was curious, but I wasn't going to do anything.
I'm just curious, you know. Again, Dan Allen, another greatest hits line right there. Maurice Wolin pulling out some fucking bangers here, you know. I probably would have chickened out. I'm just curious. You know, what else are you going to pull out of your bag of tricks here, Mo?
If you read that, you can tell that over and over again I said that both I shouldn't come, she should be careful.
You're talking about that you want her to take your pants off. So you can take mine off if you want.
And he hates having hates having it read back to him. He hates it, man. He's like, damn it, what did I go and say that for? You know, he can't control himself, and now too bad he's shackled, or not shackled, but his hands are tied. Not gonna be able to do anything about it, Mo. And even if he did try to like do something about it, he'd just get fucking tased and fucking maybe shot. I don't know, but yeah, it wouldn't go well for you. Fucking Mo.
You want to do it?
I wasn't going to do anything.
I wasn't going to do anything.
That was not appropriate. Officer Nelson, I shouldn't have talked to her. Right. I wasn't going to do anything.
So you drove 40 minutes from Piedmont to meet a 13-year-old.
I didn't know she was 13. I didn't know she was 13. Oh man, what an asshole. Really obnoxious. Didn't know she was 13. You are an asshole. You know that she was 13. You asked her, oh, why did you say we have to be careful? Why did she say right here I'm almost 14? You know, why did she say that? You know, why did you say we have to be careful? Why did she say, hey, I'm pretty young, you know? Why did she say, hey, I live with my parents, you know? Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, do you date older guys? You know, why did you say that? Really fucking obnoxious here. Really obnoxious when they pull that out, too. Maurice Wolin does so many things that are obnoxious.
That nothing would have happened. And you expect me to believe that? After you talk about having different sexual acts with her?
She begged me to come. And I know that doesn't make it right, but...
All right, the time's approximately 14:38. I'm going to conclude the interview.
Can I call my mom?
I'll walk you over to the trailer.
No.
Once he's taken out of the
And this is a
interrogation,
whole new can of worms here in its own, you know, Maurice Wolin's wife. You can look this up for yourself. You can research it yourself. There's a ton of information out there on it. I recommend going to the Temple of TCAP, personally. I'm 30 minutes in here, so I'm not going to give the whole fucking story about it. But yeah, they split up, and then they got back together to stay with the kids, for the kids' sake, you know. This woman is fine with marrying or staying married to a registered sex offender, embarrassed himself on TV in front of millions of people, made himself look like a complete asshole in the process, and stayed with them. That's unfortunate, you know. And she's a doctor in her own right too. She's a pediatrician. It's not like she was married to him for his money, you know. That's not why. It doesn't make any sense to me. I can't understand it. I can't understand it. And, you know, there is a whole other, so much to go about, you know, talk about Maurice Wolin that I'm not even going to get into, really. But apparently when his daughters were in college, they got mocked a little bit about this, you know. Oh, I saw your father on To Catch a Predator, you know. Ooh, it's not so great, but, yeah, there's a whole other, you know, there's more to Maurice Wolin than just what's on TCAP here, you know. You can find it too, you know. I can if you ask me for it, I can dig up some links for you guys. Yeah, there's a whole lot about Maurice Wolin here.
interrogation room, an officer dials the doctor's wife and hands him the
One
phone.
of the great unsolved mysteries in TCAP. The other end of this phone call. I would love to know what was going on the other end of this phone call. What Mrs. Wolin's response to this whole predicament was, you know, but this whole phone call. It would be fucking incredible to know that. You know, time machine, time travel. I've brought it up so many times. Yeah, this one would be probably pretty high up on my list of TCAP things to go back to. What was Dr. Wolin's wife's saying on the other end of this phone call? What happened when she got there? You know, what happened? All of that. What the ride home was like too. Oh no. You know that ride home was just like Maurice Wolin's wife was just like, when I get home, I am going to slap the shit out of you. You know, you are sleeping on the couch tonight, young man. You know. That's not funny at all.
I'm in big trouble. I'll explain. You have to bail me out of the Sonoma County Jail. $30,000 check.
And that is really obnoxious too, because, you know, he's like, every other person would probably be like, man, $30,000 bond, shit, you know, that's kind of screwy. This guy's just like, oh yeah, just write a check for $30,000, come here and get me out of here, you know. And the wife has no ifs, ands, or buts about it, you know. What? Sonoma County Jail? Oh, $30,000. Okay, I'll be right there, honey. You know, she probably didn't even care, actually. Fucking asshole. She's just as bad, in my opinion. She's not just as bad, but she's pretty bad on her own right, you know.
It was a sting operation.
Sting operation. So that probably, most people would probably first thing go to hookers, prostitute sting. That would probably be the first thing that they go to. And so imagine that she just comes down. All right, you made a mistake with some prostitutes. You know, I'm not happy about it. You know, you're going to be sleeping on the couch for a little bit. You're not going to get your yearly blowjob this year. But you know, this can just stay between us. And then she finds out, oh wait, you came to meet a 13-year-old. Oh wait, you were on Dateline NBC. Oh wait, you said what? We're gonna split up, but like two or 3 years from now, I'll come back to you though. You know, we gotta stay together for the family. You know, my reputation here it's important too. You know, I can't be divorced. You know, I can't do that.
Don't bring the girls. I didn't do anything, but I did something stupid.
Fucking ear rape right there, Jesus Christ. But yeah, he goes, I didn't do anything, but I did something stupid.
I didn't do anything, but I did something stupid.
I didn't do anything, but I did something stupid. Oh, fuck you, Maurice. Yeah, that's an understatement right there. He knows. He was going to try to put off saying what it was for as long as possible. I still can't believe that the wife stayed with him. I can't believe it.
I wasn't gonna do anything, man.
That's it. Maurice Wolin, we fucking got through it. I can't believe it, man. I'm in a fit of rage right now. It's not even 8:30 in the morning. And I'm raging. But yeah, that's gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a pretty long one actually. We got nearly 36 minutes into this. This was a good one. And so I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.